The ICT and assessment of learning. Okay, now let's proceed to our objective. Our first objective is to explain the concept of the rule of ICT and assessment. Second, evaluate assessment tools using rubrics. Now let's talk about assessment. Assessment is the process of identifying, gathering, and interpreting information about students' learning. We all know what is assessment, right? But we have four types of assessment. Okay, the first type of assessment is the formative assessment. Provide feedback and information during the instructional process while learning is taking place and while learning is occurring. One of the example of formative assessment is peer review. Student review and provide feedback on each other's work. The second type of assessment is the summative assessment. This is common, taking place after the learning has been completed and provide information and feedback that sums up the teaching and the learning process. So, the example of this summative assessment is the final exam, project, and research paper. So, the purpose of this is to measure the student's progress over time. So, the third type of assessment is the diagnostic assessment. Diagnostic assessment can help you identify your students' current knowledge of a subject, their skill sets and capabilities, and to clarify misconceptions before teaching take place. So, diagnostic assessment is the pre-test, so given before a unit or course to determine students' existing knowledge. Okay, the last type of assessment is the authentic assessment. Describes the multiple forms of assessment that reflect students' learning, achievement, motivation, and attitude of instructional relevance classroom activities. So the example of authentic assessment is the portfolio. Collections of students' works that showcase their progress and achievements. The benefits of this is to develop critical thinking and problem solving skills. Now let's proceed to the role of ICT in assessment of learning. It is helpful to teachers because students' information and result of examination can be recorded and stored and can be easily be retrieved. Also, teacher can right away give feedback to students on the result of assessment. And feedback from computer during the use of test materials improves students' performance in later use of the same test materials. ICT enhance assessment of learning by providing tools for personalized evaluation, instant feedback, and data-driven insight, ultimately improving student outcomes and informing teachers' practices. Next is the current trend in assessment in learning. Walpert Gowron in 2010, the 21st century assessment include utilizing multiple measure of assessment, increase the use of technology, focus on the growth and development of learner, differentiating the rules and responsibilities of the teachers, administrators, and other stakeholders. The concept of classroom has been shifting in recent years with dedication of purposefully designed learnings, spaces, and seamless integration of technology in Williams 2017. Educational technology is used to increase the efficiency of education in teaching, learning, and assessment. So these are the important reasons for teachers to use technology in education. Roblier and Edward in 2000. First is the motivation. distinct institutional abilities, higher productivity of teachers, essential skills for information age, and support for new teaching and techniques. So, motivation. Technology can increase students' motivation and engaging by making learning more interactive and fun, providing opportunities for exploration and discovery. Next is distinct instructional abilities. So, technology enables teachers to create multimedia presentation and resources, develop interactive lesson and activities, and also cater to different learning styles and needs. Higher productivity of teachers. Technology can increase teachers' productivity by automating administrative tasks, facilitating communication with students and parents. Next is essential skills for information age. So, technology integration helps students develop digital literacy and critical thinking skills, and also the ability to navigate and evaluate online information. Last is support for new teaching technologies. Technology support innovative teaching methods such as flipped classroom, blended learning, project-based learning, and personalized learning. By incorporating technologies, teacher can create more effective and engaging centered learning environment. Active learning is any learning activity in which the students interact or engage with the materials as opposed to passively taking in the information. Okay, last we have the creating and utilizing rubrics. So we all know what is rubrics, right? But there are two types of rubrics. So, a rubrics is a set of criteria used to determine scoring for an assessment, portfolio, or product. This can be used to score many kinds of written assignment or exam papers, projects, speeches, and even portfolios. They are not useful, however, as a grading mechanisms for multiple choice or short answer sheet. There are many samples of rubrics online, but the teacher may consider the learner's objective of the lesson, contextualizing and localization. The main process or purpose for the rubrics is to assess students' performance. So we have two types of rubrics. We have the analytic rubrics and the holistic rubrics. So when we say analytic rubrics, it describes work on each criterion separately. It utilizes separate holistic ratings of specific characteristic, product, or behavior. Okay, next is the holistic rubrics. Describe the work of applying all the criteria at the same time and enabling the overall judgment about the quality of the work. It utilizes holistic ratings for a product or behavior. I will show you the example of analytic and holistic rubrics. Okay, we have first the analytic rubrics. So, analytic rubrics breaks down the assessment into specific components of criteria and evaluate each component separately, providing detailed feedback and provide a score for each criteria and allowing for a specific evaluation. So that is the analytic rubrics. Okay, next we have the holistic rubrics. So holistic rubrics is evaluate the overall performance considering the assignment as a whole. So assess general quality based on overall impressions rather than specific criteria and provide a single score reflecting the overall quality of the work. So that is the holistic rubrics. Okay, so that's all for my report. Um, I hope that you understand my report. Thank you for listening.